That guy is on the side of the road over there, and I really hope he's okay. You know what? I'm gonna try to do a UE and see if I can get back to him. Make sure he's okay. Perfect light timing here. Just want to make sure you are right.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, sure. Sorry?
I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good afternoon. All right, he's okay. I just had to check. What's up, Team Nosarama? Saturday. It's kind of rainy. You can see that way all the storms coming. It's supposed to, tomorrow's Mother's Day, but like tonight and tomorrow morning it's supposed to snow. Middle of May, Colorado. That's pretty typical. So it's not the greatest day out right now, but I'm trying to get some riding in before it freaking snows tonight. So yeah. Hi. It's kind of chilly out, but I thought I'd do a little video since I'm out riding, and since the weather's supposed to be crappy, I figured I should get a video in now while I can. I thought I would do basically a long-term, if you will, long-term review on the Suzuki Gladius, because yeah, I mean, I've been vlogging with it for a while. You know, I always tell you guys about how great it is, but I just rolled over, actually now, well, I just rolled over 10,000 miles on this bike. So I put, I mean, the bike has 12,000, but 10,000 of it have been mine. So I have now ridden this bike for 10,000 miles. Here comes more rain, frick me. So here is where some road got knocked out from the flooding last September, and it still has not been fixed down there. There were like 3 cars. I think there were 3 cars that fell into that. During the flooding last September, literally like during rush hour, while there was flooding, that road collapsed under a car's weight, and 3 cars went into the river. I think they were all the people were okay, but that didn't happen. Anyways, what the hell was I saying? I feel like now, after 10,000 miles, I can give this thing a like long-term review, if you will. This bike is awesome. I've said that many times, but this bike is truly awesome. And the reason I can say that is because, so the bike is a 650 V-twin. It's awesome. It's got plenty of power. But there have definitely been times when I've been on this motorcycle that I've been like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to have like a 600cc Super Sport. I've looked at Triumph Daytonas. I've looked at GSXRs. I've been like, oh, you know, this is my first bike. It's been great. I love it, but I'd love to try something new. I'd love to, you know, go for my second bike. I've been riding for 2 years. Like, I can go for a second bike, right? And kind of switch it up a little bit. The only problem is, every time I've like gotten serious about looking for another bike, I realize how great this one is, and I realize that I just cannot let it go. I'll be like, I'll go test ride a bike, and I'll be like, oh, that bike was awesome. Like, I would love owning it. It's so great, everything like that. So I'm like, okay, I could totally get this new bike. But then the more I think about it, I'm like, but wait, I have a perfect bike right now. I have the perfect machine. Why do I want anything else? That's honestly the way it's been. This bike has been bulletproof. I have not had a single mechanical problem with this motorcycle, ever. I mean, I take it in or I don't even take it in, I do my own maintenance on it. I do the scheduled maintenance, and this bike is solid. Like, there's never ever been a problem with it. It's got all the power in the world. It's just perfect. So whenever I think about getting another bike, I just think about how I would hate to no longer have this thing. And I think about, you know, oh, right now I have this perfect bike that's also very rare, very hard to find. And I think, what I basically think is, I'm like, what if I were to buy a different bike and sell this one, and then I just like pretty much realized how much I really should have kept this bike. And I'm like, well, if I were to do that and I wanted to go back to a Gladius, it'd be really hard to find one, first of all. Now, I could like go for a 650 or a SV650 instead, which honestly, just as a little story, when I found this bike, when I was searching for my first bike, I was searching for an SV650. I wanted to straight up buy and own an SV650 because I had friends that had them. I love videos of them. They sound freaking glorious. So I was like, okay, I want an SV650. But then I was on Craigslist looking for these bikes, and I found this Gladius because under search on Craigslist as a tag, people would put like SV650 as, you know, as part of a Gladius is kind of part of that family. And I had never even known that the Gladius existed until I found this bike on Craigslist. And so I found this bike on Craigslist when I was looking for an SV650. Ooh, that's a nice Porsche. So I found this bike on Craigslist when I was looking for an SV650, and I was like, holy crap, that thing is beautiful, because this truly is a beautiful machine. It's a beautiful, beautiful motorcycle. And so I started doing some research on this bike and found, you know, that it pretty much was the same thing as an SV650. It has it has the newer generation motor that's a little more horsepower, or a little more powerful, and everything like that. So it has the Suzuki next gen sort of 650 V-twin in it, and this is actually the same motor, I believe. This is the same motor that they throw on the V-Strom 650s. Is this Gladius motor? I got a really good deal on it, or it was offered for a really good deal, and I was just like, I have to do it. It was a too good of a deal, and it's honestly just like too perfect. So I went out to the guy that was selling it, and I picked up the Gladius, and it's just been love ever since. I know that I always say how great this bike is and how bulletproof the motor is, how smooth it is, how fast it is, how comfortable it is. But truly, the fact that I have looked at other bikes, I've looked at freaking like Daytonas that I could have bought. I've looked at beautiful GSXR 600s that I could have bought. I've looked at all these bikes that would also be awesome to own, but then I've just realized I could not give up my Gladius that easily. It would take a lot. Like, if somebody like offered me like a free S1000R or like an S1000R in trade for this thing, I'd probably consider it, because it's an S1000R, which is the bike I want to bang right now. But In general, it would take a lot for me to give up this bike. So let's talk about some actual aspects rather than me just telling me how I couldn't leave this bike. It's very comfortable. And I say that in a few different ways. First of all, the seating position is very comfortable. It is. It's very upright seating. It's very comfortable position. It's not too small. Of course, this bike is a little bit shorter at, I think the seat height's like, what, 31 inches maybe? So it is, it can be built for shorter people, but I literally am 6'1", and I'm not cramped on this bike at all, in any way at all. It's definitely not too small of a bike for me. Really comfortable seating position, number one. Number two, the seat is fairly comfortable, sort of. It's kind of thin padding, and it's not that soft, really. So if you really wanted this to be like a touring bike, you might want to put what's the brand? Corbin. You might want to put a Corbin seat on this bike, and I think that they do make a Corbin seat for this bike, but in fact I know they do, but it is a fairly comfortable bike. I took this bike, if you guys follow me or have followed me for a while, you know that I took this bike on a 3-day road trip around the state of Colorado. For like 850 miles I sat on this bike over 3 days, and it takes some getting used to be a little bit comfortable, or to be comfortable on this bike. It does take some getting used to, take some sitting on a while, but I was never really uncomfortable on this bike. Spending an entire day on this bike, by the end of it, your lower back is sore. It's a little sore. Your butt's a little sore. But spending that much time on this bike is really not that big of an issue. And if you really did want to spend a lot of time on this bike, you would probably invest in the Corbin seat anyway. Just because it could get uncomfortable. Oh, see that this bike is just, oh, it's so ridiculous. It's so quick. It's so much fun. Oh. Yeah. So it is a pretty comfortable bike, but it could get uncomfortable after a while. I'm sure this video is like 30 minutes long by this point. I'm just rambling by now, but kind of the main points. This bike is all you need. It's all you really need. Now, if you wanted like a sport touring bike or something like that, like an actual touring machine, I could see wanting to get something like that, but for most people, this bike would be perfectly what you need, what you want, and what you need. It's got all the power, all the fun. It literally has all the power you would need on a bike. For normal riding. It just doesn't need any more than it has. It's comfortable, and it's a bike that you can truly sort of, I know it's weird, but it's a bike you can truly sort of have that relationship with and really get attached to, because at least, I mean, I think in general, and definitely for me, I couldn't have asked for a more perfect bike to start things out on and to just own, because you really can't I just can't see myself finding another motorcycle that would like really bump it up to the next level from this bike. So for normal street riding, I mean, obviously it's different if you're touring or if you're looking for an adventure bike, a dual sport, then obviously there's better bikes, but for those specific activities. But as a general, like, overall street bike, this bike is amazing. And I can successfully say that for 10,000 miles on this machine, I have not gotten tired of it. I have not gotten tired of this motorcycle. And I can't see myself getting tired of it in the near future either. Because there's nothing to get tired of. So sort of in conclusion, I guess, I know I've talked way too much, but in conclusion, I can just say that this bike is everything it needs to be, everything I want. And after 10,000 miles of riding it, I still feel like I do the day I bought it. I still feel like the day I bought it. I still feel that same excitement out of this motorcycle, and that same joy, and that same passion for it, and that same relationship with it, of not being able to let it go and truly having the connection with the machine that I've had with this motorcycle. So that is it for now, guys. I'll stop talking. I know I've talked way too much, but all I can say is that I'm still in love with the Suzuki Gladius. Simple as that. I'm still in love with this bike. So, I will talk to you all later. Like I said, the next videos hopefully coming up are going to be mostly on other bikes, between dealer test rides and riding Wisemoto's Kawasaki. God, I'm so used to him riding the Ninja. Yamaha R6. So I will talk to you guys soon. For now, I am out, and I'm going to enjoy my Mother's Day and the snow that's supposed to come with it. So I will talk to you all later. Nasser, I'm out. Peace.